My goodness. Okay, hopefully this works. Hello, everyone. We're tapping on to the same points that I was making the last video I made. So we're talking about calories. We've got a whiteboard. Thanks, Bailey, for getting me the whiteboard. Go watch that other video if you haven't, the last video that I made, because it's absolute shambles, which I found a bit funny. But I was chatting about calories, what they are and what they aren't. And I guess I'm just doubling down on that and going through how I make sense of things and how I think about things and how that's really helpful for me. So I guess if I'm wrong with this and this isn't how the body works and this isn't how food works, then I'm okay with being wrong, because seeing it this way or having this approach to it gets me results quite easily, and people that I've helped, I think, quite easily. So this is how I understand it. This is how I like to believe it. If I get shown something different, then I'll change my mind. I'm not married to this. Anyway, what we're chatting about today is the idea that when we eat something, so when we eat food or drink food or really just ingest anything, we're not ingesting calories. The calories don't exist, really. It's just a unit of measurement. Go watch the other video. What we're eating is potential for energy. So that's going to be the name of the video. I'm having something that could be converted into some type of energy. Okay, so I've got a little diagram here that I'm going to draw. So we'll start off with food. We are eating, or we have something to eat. Okay, hopefully you can read that. We have some food. Imagine any type of food. Now, if you believe that this is the most important for... Sorry, I'm just waving to Mackenzie. I'm going to lose my train of thought. Can I help you? No, I'm making a video. Okay, can you be quiet? Sure. Where was I? If you believe that this part is the most important, like how many calories this is, if you think that this is the most important, then I think that's where we're going wrong. And that'll make sense, hopefully, in a second. So this goes into the body, because remember, this could be a hat. In the last example I used, that a hat might have 500 calories. That doesn't mean that it has a lot of potential for energy. It has zero potential for energy, okay? A cucumber has a higher potential for energy. A banana probably has a higher potential for energy than that. Steak has even higher potential for energy than that. So when we have the food, it's called substrate. It's in our body now as substrate. I'm going to change that word to potential for energy. So it doesn't turn into energy, potential. Hopefully you can read this, guys. Potential for energy. Okay, so once the food is in the body, it's still not energy yet. It's not energy when it's here. So this is why sometimes you can eat a food and you don't feel energized straight away. You might eat a really high-fat junk food meal and feel sluggish and tired, okay? Eating food does not equal energy. Energy's down here. So anyway, we have food. It turns into potential for energy. From here, can I help you? Okay. I've got Mackenzie watching me, so it's hard to concentrate. So we have the food. It turns into potential for energy. From here, it can turn into energy, guys. We got there. So what we call energy in the body is ATP. Hopefully you can read that. I haven't been able to check this. Oh yeah, we're doing okay. So it turns into ATP, which equals energy. When it's energy, it can be external energy, moving, training, talking, thinking, I guess would be external. Physical things, just energy. Like, it takes energy to go for a walk or a run. It takes more energy to go for a run than a walk. It takes more energy to go for a long run than a short walk. We've also got internal. It can go to internal energy. Cell tissues, digestion, breathing, healing the cells. God knows. I don't think there's even a way for us to know. But they're the two. We've got two different ways that it can go once we've got energy. So now you can already see that if I have a hat, the potential for energy is 0 and I have no energy. If I eat a cucumber, the potential for energy is a little bit, and we don't get to decide if it goes to internal or external. But if I am doing a lot of external work and all I've had is a cucumber, there's nothing left over to heal, to help your breathing, to help your digestion. And this is where dieting goes wrong. This is where people make themselves worse. Please don't rock that, Kens. This is where things go wrong. If we're not eating enough, we don't have enough potential for energy to do both of these things, and we keep pushing the body externally, then we're going to pay a price. So what do? We look at the food that we're having to make sure that it's giving us a lot of potential for energy, and then match the external with the internal. So the other thing that we can do when we have a food, it goes to potential for energy, it can go to fat, can be stored as fat. We know that to be true. Fat is a bi-directional one. So we also release fat. Fat goes this way. We can release fat stores, which we all know when we get leaner. So it goes both ways. We've got an arrow going to fat, but we can also release fat stores. Those fat stores, when released, don't just turn to energy. We don't get to choose. It doesn't just turn to energy. So when you're burning fat or when you're losing weight and dropping fat, doesn't mean you're necessarily going to have more energy, but it gets turned into potential for energy, which can be turned into ATP/energy if we need it. The other thing that it can be turned into, this potential for energy, is, I guess it's similar to excretion. Okay? Kenzie, block your ears for me. We can piss and shit it out, okay? So not everything, thank you. You heard me anyway, didn't you? No? Okay, that's good. Okay, so we can get rid of food. We know that we don't digest and absorb everything, okay? Now the last thing, guys, is structure. So the potential for energy can go towards muscle. Sorry if you can't read this. Bone, skin, but the actual cells of our body. So it doesn't get turned into energy. It's just replenishing or healing skin cells, tissue and stuff like that. So this is the way I look at it. We've got all these things that the potential for energy can go and do. The potential for energy can be stored as fat if there's too much. It can be turned into energy. It can be turned into structure, actually making our body, or it can be excreted. That's about all my notes. The structure is also bi-directional. So we can break down our bone, skin, and muscle to go back to potential for energy, and then that potential for energy can be turned into energy. Okay, guys, here's why I enjoy looking at this. Here's why I enjoy looking at it this way. Maybe this looks complicated to you. Let me make sure it's recording. Maybe this looks complicated to you. In fact, this process is about 1,000,000 times more complicated. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but it's just crazy. I wouldn't want to simplify it any more than this, though. If we look at it as just food is energy, and 1,000 calories is 1,000 calories, and I've got 1,000 calories to spend, we're missing the part where that's not true. You're just missing that part. So all food or anything we consume gets turned into potential for energy. A healthy metabolism, using healthy food, someone using healthy food and an undamaged metabolism, they're going to have a high amount of energy, and that makes them feel like exercising. They probably enjoy exercising. They've got a lot of internal energy, so they're breathing okay, they're healing okay, their structure is okay. But this all comes from the potential for energy being great, not the food being great. I'm going to double down on something right now, okay? The food being quality food therefore becomes the most important, not how many calories it is. How much potential for energy there is the most important. And I found a study from 2010. Here's what they found as far as whole food versus processed food. Ingestion of the particular processed food meal tested in this study decreases postprandial energy expenditure, so post-meal energy expenditure. Are you enjoying the video? I'll read that again. Ingestion of the particular processed food meal, so they gave some subjects processed meal and another one whole food meal, but kind of the same food. Just wait, kids. Ingestion of the particular processed food meal tested in the study decreased post-meal energy expenditure by 50% compared with the whole food meal. This reduction in daily energy expenditure has potential implications for diets comprised heavily on processed food and their associations with obesity. This is from 2010, guys. What's that saying is they gave people the same amount, a meal that was either a processed meal or a whole food meal. And it was equated for calories and equated for macros. The team that had a processed meal ended up with low energy expenditure, 50% less energy that they felt like spending or could move throughout the end of the day. The team that had the same amount of food, but a whole food, had more potential for energy, and that's why we see an increased energy expenditure at the end of the day. So the food you eat matters. Calories do matter, I'm eating less calories at the moment to decrease my body fat. So they do matter. But if you focus just on calories and think that the calories matter, then you can go eat, like, potentially I could eat this couch and that's silly. I'm being silly. But it's the potential for energy that matters. And in my view, in my experience, the way I make sense of all these different studies that come out is things grown by God and or grown by the earth, grown outside, have seen the light, they've seen the sun, Kens. Those foods have great potential for energy. They're also low calorie, fruits, veg, and meat. They fill you up. They're low calorie, great potential for energy. So not a lot is getting stored as fat. It doesn't really need to go here. In my experience, that doesn't happen at all. So the fat gets released. I now have great amount of external energy. I'm down 1.5 kilos making videos on a Saturday morning and I've only had 1 coffee, Kens. I've had 212 calories to eat this morning. Excretion's normal. Well, less than normal for me at the moment. Holding on to muscle, bone and skin. My teeth are great. I'm getting PBs at the gym. My skin's getting brown. I can think great. I'm breathing well. And this is while dieting. I'm 2 weeks in, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But when you look at it this way, this is why I'm sharing the video. I like looking at it as this needs to be good quality food. A lot of fruit, veg, honey, and meat. Pretty simple. The carnivore crew almost have it right. Almost. They're way off because carbs are super important. And the vegans, they've kind of got it right. They're having a lot of quality nutrients, but they're missing structure, the protein that they're not getting. They're going to struggle with muscle, bone, and tissue. Okay? The answer is both. Do calories matter or are they garbage? The answer is both. It's always in the middle. Everything in this life, guys, it seems to be in the middle. So that's the way I look at things. You need good quality food that's been outside in the sun. If you're not a believer in God, then just think of outside. Outside is magic, okay? Not produced by man. If it starts in a factory and ends in a package and then goes to you, the potential for energy, guys, is zero. Packaged food, the potential for energy, you've got 200 calories in a snack. The potential for energy is 6. 1 of it gets excreted, 1 goes to fat, 2 goes here to structure and bone, and then you've got 0 energy because you've got a little bit, there's just nothing left over. You've used 6 grams of energy, 6 units of energy from a 200 calorie thing. It's just going to go to fat. The body can't use it or it gets excreted. But for it to do all this still costs internal energy. It has to digest it. So your body's spending 250 calories, 250 units of energy to digest something that's 200. And in return, it's getting 0 energy. You're going to feel tired. You're going to have skin issues, gut issues. You're not going to be able to think straight. These videos aren't going to make sense because you're brain dead. I'm kidding, Kens. You're not supposed to stir people up. I hope this looks like a mess. I've had fun making it. Kens has had fun coughing on my video.
Stop it.
You are a goose.
Stop it.
Alright, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think. Chat to you soon.
Can I play on the whiteboard?
You can play on the whiteboard, yes.
Yay! But it's your job to rub it out.
You can rub it all out.
No.
Alright, there it is, guys. There's my video. There's the end result. What a mess. Alright, cheers, guys.